And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your Precision Racing League's American PS4 F1 Championship Series. I'm your host for this evening, Hootius. Out there in Twitch land, you know me as Old Man Hoot. Once again, season number 10. Tonight, race number 11. This kicks off the second half of the season. We are in Hungary. This is the Hungaroring. And last time we were here, it was some cheeky fun. The weather played a factor. The last lap, the last corner, Nick Dahi going full sprint car from what we remember. Not going to have that tonight. Our resident meteorologist, Aerostrike, has informed us why it might be a little bit cloudy. There will be no wet stuff. We're going to stay on the slicks this whole time. And we're going to let the guys duke it out. Now, we're coming actually off of a wet to dry race that we had last week at Silverstone. And this man, the pink car, the Force India, Aaron Webb, ended a pretty long podium drought. And he was able to snag third place. So what we're going to do is hop on the Force India. Aaron, riding that momentum, is going to take us around. Now, we just saw the pit straight, a small DRS zone, leads you into turn 1. You can outbrake there. You can try to, squeeze it in if you want. It's going to lead to a second, also very small DRS zone. Into turn number 2, the winding left-hander. Turn 3, very fast, flat out. You're going to have a curve straight. Not really past the zone coming up here for turn 4, but guys can really ruin their lap and kill a lot of momentum. Short shoot into a windy turn 5. Here's where it's going to be tricky. Some guys are going to try to be cute here. Here comes the chicane. It's incredibly hard to pass, but you can put somebody in a precarious spot. Short shoot into 6. Into the sweeping right. Number 7. Here we go. Number 8 is going to be flat out. Number 9 is tricky. This right-hander, you're going to hop curb. You're going to try to get the best angle possible. Carry as much speed. You're going to get on the brakes here for number 10. Get back on it. Again, another short shoot. Turn number 11 is going to be about 180 degrees. You're going to bring it all the way around. You've got your pit road entry on your right-hand side. As again, we go 180 degrees, this time a little bit wider, though. Get back in the DRS zone. There's your start and finish line. A very fast track, you see. Minute and 16 seconds. We're going to see minute 17 seconds in the range. So, not a big track at all. Not a ton of passing opportunities, to be honest. So, it's all going to be about consistency tonight. Who can hit it lap in, lap out, not have mistakes. The guys are going to challenge these curbs very, very hard, and they could put themselves in precarious situations. Now, as Aaron Webb's riding around, we've had half a dozen drivers so far put down a lap. They're going to slow it down, conserve a little bit of tire wear, go to the pits, throw on another fresh set of super softs, and then we'll see what happens. Now, a little bit of a small lobby tonight. A little bit more than half. We've got 11 cars. In F1, your top 10 cars have to start on the tires you qualify. 11th on back, they get a fresh set of tires of their choosing to be able to start the race on. So, normally your top 10 is filled with your fastest tire, minus 1 or 2. But I think we might see a couple guys, maybe Caesar, K-Dog, Bubba, who might be in that 8th, 9th, 10th kind of range, Chappa as well. They may go ahead and elect to go softs. I don't know if we'll see anybody qualify mediums. I think maybe whoever is in the 11th spot might elect to start the race on mediums. We'll see how that tire strategy plays out. Zeke, you're absolutely right, man. These curbs, now granted, I did one practice race on the sticks, just because I was wasting a little time before the before the lobby officially started. The curbs can be very tricky. I was hitting them very soft and conservative, but I know these guys are a lot more skilled in these F1 cars than I am. They're going to really attack these curbs, and mistakes can happen. Even in the dry conditions, those curbs are going to eat some people up. It's going to be very, very interesting. LSR, the Hoot is all about the grid girls. I, too, was heartbroken when F1 took away the grid girls, not only from F1, but from the Hoot. So it's in the contract, negotiations. We'll see what happens, maybe F1 2018. Mainly the cute Japanese ones. Those were my favorite. All right, now, almost everybody except for Chapadao has put down a lap. They're going in. They're getting their second set of tires. They're coming out. Currently sitting P1, not a shocker. Your points leader, your defending champion, McSendit. Currently sitting P1. McSendit coming off of yet another win last week at Silverstone. His 7th win in 10 races this season. He's captured 4 poles, only 2 fast laps. McSendit knows how to get his car out front, steady the pace, dictate where he wants to take his race, and go. Last season, for his first championship, McSendit was just smacking records left and right. He is going to outdo himself at this pace. It's going to be pretty amazing. But, as we've seen week in and week out, though, he can't take it easy because Odoms is going to be right on his tail. As Odoms now starting his second flying lap. Right now, there's just under 0.2 of a second separating the Mercedes and the McLaren. Nick Dahi currently in the pit. He still has plenty of time. Him and Woody's as well. Both drivers have plenty of time before they need to go out there again. You know, you're looking at around 1.5 minutes on an out lap, so they still got 2 minutes before they need to go out there. They might be trying to see when the track empties a little bit. They don't want to get held up, so we'll keep an eye on the Williams teammates. But right now, let's go back up front. We're gonna keep an eye on McSendit and Odoms and see what happens to our top 2 guys. Oh, Caesar, you ran out of fuel. I was wondering why you were tired. I was like, that was a little early. All right, McSendit coming up through the chicane. All right, here comes Odoms. Actually, Odoms went ahead and bailed on that lap. He did not like what he had there, so he's going to dive into the pits. He still has plenty of time. He'll throw on another set of tires. He'll give it another go. And no, LSR, yeah, it was just one of those nights. Unfortunately, we had 3 or 4 drivers who are having weather issues right now. One of our drivers is in Mexico, and he has complete flooding going on. So, hearts out to those guys. We want everybody to be safe and whatnot. So, that right there, is a good chunk of people. We also have just real life. Guys miss race here and there kind of deal. And when you're talking to about a 20 race season like we do here in F1, it tends to happen more, it'll happen. We'll just put it that way. All right, now McSendit went ahead and called it quits, but not before he laid out a blistering lap. He was at a 16.7 before. He drops it down to a 16.3, so that's going to put the pressures on Odoms to get back out there and fly. Odoms is going to have 0.6 of a second to make up if he wants to snag the pole. The Williams teammates are out there right now. They're currently sitting P3, P4. They have well over a second if they want to challenge McSendit for the pole. All right, we have Caesar in 5th. He had the fuel issue after he completed his lap, so 5th is the best that he can get. He may still drop a spot or 2 as Aerostrike is out there right now. Aaron Webb has called it quits. He's currently sitting P7. Got J-Rod, K-Dog, and Chappa right now rounding out the top 10. And then Bubba! As soon as the camera goes on the Haas, fun stuff happens. Bubba is currently sitting in the last spot. And to be honest, if I'm Bubba, unless I have a really good lap, like, getting into the 17s, I might want that 11th spot. Start the race on whatever fresh tire you want. If I was Bubba, I would go. To be honest, I love Bubba. Bubba and tire conservation aren't exactly friends. So if I was Bubba, you stay in that 11th spot. You start the race on the mediums, and then you're guaranteed to one-stop it, and you get your super soft tires at the end of the race. That might work out best for Bubba. As laps starting to come in, J-Rod jumps it up to P5. There's a better lap for the Red Bull driver that I was expecting. J-Rod has been strong so far in this iteration of the game. Last season, he had a lot of good qualifying efforts. Didn't quite have the race finishes that showed his speed. He's done better so far this season, speaking of which Arrow has jumped up. He's sitting P3. It's going to put more pressure on the Williams guys. Yeah, you like that, Jacko? Caesar, yeah, iRacing has really killed me on the consoles as well, my man. Trying to do the oval iRacing and then hopping on NASCAR Heat it's something, let me tell you. All right, Dahi coming around the last corner, currently sitting P5. His teammate Woody's just jumped up to P3. Dahi takes P3 away from him. So the Williams teammates are going to stay 3rd and 4th. Arrow gets bumped down to 5th place. All eyes now are on Odoms. This is it. There's no redo at this point. Qualifying time is over. He gets to complete his lap. Can he shave off 0.6 of a second and take the pole away from Extended? Odoms last week, the runner-up at Silverstone. His first podium in over a month. He started out the season on fire, trading wins with McSennett. Found a string of bad luck. Last week, though, turned it around. What can he do here at Hungary? As he comes to the line, Odoms went fast. Just not quite fast enough, though. He shaved over a half second off his time, but he is going to fall short of the pole from McSennett by a mere 49 one-thousandths of a second. Every race, these guys are outdueling each other by the slimmest of margins. Absolutely nuts. And we're looking at the checkerboards. We've got the pit marker. We've got the grayed out names. That's going to do it for qualifying. We're just going to wait for the AIs to kill each other. There we go, as the Red Bull just smacked into the Haas. Both cars losing wings. And great. Actually, it didn't make us wait out the 90-second timer. Fantastic. Thank you, Codemasters. And LSR, yeah, man, I don't have any problem with, the occasional link. It's all good. And there we go. It's official. McSennett snags the pole. And actually, my math was off. I was doing it backwards. Just a mere 31 one-thousandths of a second separating him and Odoms. That's his 5th pole of the season. Dahi 3rd, Woody's 4th, Arrow 5th. J-Rod, Caesar, Aaron, K-Dog, and Chappa are going to round out the top 10. And then keep an eye on Bubba. Sitting in 11th, he's going to get the fresh tires to start. It's going to be really interesting to see what Bubba decides to do. Now, the drivers are in their pre-race screen. They're looking at tire strategy. They're looking at their fuel amounts. Getting their cars ready for race trim. So then as soon as we start seeing the check marks on our boards to the left there go off, then we're going to get ready to race. LSR, I love Bubba. I would not put that past him for accidentally doing that. Now, I'm actually really hoping Bubba, because everybody in front of him is going to be on super softs. Really hope Bubba. I would like to see the medium strategy play out. I want him to for sure do the one stop and have the super softs at the end, and see if Bubba might actually be able to do a cheeky move and take a fast lap. All right, 5 seconds to go, and we're going to rock and roll, guys. All right, let's get our position change. We got our intervals. We got our telemetry. We're going to hop on Aerostrike, and we've got lights out. McSenda with a really nice start. Odom's tucks in second. Woody's with a good start. Is going to go ahead and overtake Nick. Woody's looking to the outside of Odom's. Jockeying for position going on. Arrow's looking to the outside of Nick. They're all going to hold steady. And now Odom's looking to the outside of McSenda coming into turn 2. McSenda with the preferred line. And something's wrong with the scoreboard. Arrow strike is definitely not 10. Let's go back up. We're riding now the Williams and Woodies as we're seeing the McLaren. Oh, Woodies! Too much curve. This is what we were talking about. Goes really wide. Dahi behind him, his teammate, giving him some breathing room. We're going to hop back on. We're going to watch the battle for the lead right now. Odom's staring down McSendit. No room there in the chicane to make a move. We're going to jump back real quick. We do have an unfortunate... It's going to be Caesar. Looks to be an early loser right now. Losing 4 spots, but he's right behind the train. So Caesar's looking good to get some spots back. Take it back up front. Starting to equal out a little bit. About half-second separation. Currently, everybody's all in the DRS zone. So we're going to take it to the back right now. All right, Bubba elected to start on the softs. As long as Bubba takes care of him. And actually, here we go. Caesar making a move on Bubba. Bubba not fighting him. Bubba knows right now he's just trying to work that soft strategy. Let Caesar go by. Bubba tucks in. Go back up front. Odom's closing a little bit on McSendit. Right now, just 2 drivers are outside of DRS zone. Next time around, we are going to have DRS. Now, here at Hungary, not super long DRS zones, but there's 2 of them. So while they may not set up passing opportunities, they can at least get you close. So we'll see if that helps keep the pack racing going. All right, Arrow had a little bit of a slip up. Lost some time to Nick Dahi. He's out of DRS for next time around, and he's got J-Rod and Aaron Webb breathing down his neck. All right, we're going to hop on the Force India. A little bit too much curb there for Aaron. Loses some ground. Jump up to the Red Bull at J-Rod. Taking a peek at the Ferrari of Arrow Strike. Not quite there. Just letting them know. As McSendit setting the early fast laps. We are now on lap 3. DRS is now available. J-Rod a little too far back to think about anything in turn 1. Aaron Webb closing in on the Red Bull driver. This is our closest battle in the field right now, so we're going to stay on top of the Force India. Though Dahi is closing in on teammates Woody's. Odom's pretty much staying equal with McSendit right now. Any of those battles get a little bit closer, we'll pan on over. Caesar, who lost 4 spots early, gained 2 of them back. He's up to 9th place. Looks like, based on Delta 2, unfortunately an issue for Chapa. He's now down in 11th. Over 6 seconds behind Bubba, so Chapa must have had some issues there. Matter of fact, let's hop on real quick. He might have some end plate damage, but for the most part, the wing's intact. So we'll see what the Toro Rosso driver can do. A little bit of lock up there from Nick Dahi. Nick, though, normally really good about making tires last, so it's not unusual to see Nick lock it up a little bit, but still being able to go to the distance. You see, the DRS zones here, just not incredibly powerful, but doing their best to try to do something. They just at least let you hold ground, if not, not lose ground. We saw Arrow, J-Rod, and Aaron all stay pretty much even throughout turns 1 and 2. All right. Something forming up front. Oh, and I was just about to say, Odom's flirting with losing DRS of McSendit, and even worse than that, Odom's just got assessed a 3-second penalty for fighting the corners a little bit too much there. Odom's on lap 4 is behind the 8 ball now. Still, Odom's trying his best to keep it within 1 second. Make sure he's able to get that DRS off of Extended. Guys are starting to spread out. The Williams of Woody's, you see him there, about 2.5 seconds behind. Dahi is about a second, just a little over a second of his teammate. Arrow, over 2 seconds behind Dahi, but this is where we have a battle going. You see 3 cars. We've got Arrow in 5th, J-Rod 6th, Aaron Webb in 7th. And we do have a pitter. It's Caesar. We're riding with the Sauber. Is this a wing change or just... It's a tire change. 5 laps on the super softs for Caesar as he throws on the mediums. Interesting. Unless Caesar just doesn't feel like there's any way for him to do a one-stopper at all. Try to bust out 5 quick laps on supers, throw on your mediums, and then maybe another handful of laps on supers at the end of the race? We'll have to keep an eye on that. LSR, the assists are to the driver's discretion. Though most of the league does try to use at least medium traction control, if no traction control, because it does prove to be faster. The anti-lock brakes, though, that one's, I would say a good 75, if not 80% of the field does use the ABS. Nick Dahi, as we saw earlier with the tire lockup, he is definitely, as he did it again, he is definitely a no assist user at all. But he also does have a wheel and pedal setup. We do have a bunch of guys on the sticks. But even a former champion, Manjaco, was on the sticks. He didn't use assists. Some guys are just that damn good. Alright, let's jump back. Looking at the battle for 5th place. It's spread out just a little bit. Now we're grouped back up. J-Rod again, flirting with falling out of DRS, as well as Aaron Webb. Right at that 1 second zone. These super softs are starting to get worn out. Always, Jacko. Always. And to be honest, LSR, like I said, I'm not the greatest F1 driver in the world. I do have a PRL championship in GT3 cars. I've won a bunch of NASCAR races. I could do all those, no assist, no problem. These F1 cars without assist, man, I have all the respect in the world for the guys who can do it. These are a handful, to say the least. All right, Dahi starting to close back up to Woody's now. Definitely far, far from the first time that we've seen the Williams guys racing with each other, though. A lot of teammate communication going on. There's no team calls for who has to be behind the other, but they do work very, very well together, knowing it's like, all right, if you're a little bit faster, you go ahead and pace. I'll tuck in behind you. Let's not battle. Let's try to pull away or try to catch up. And then by the end of the race, it's every man for himself. So we've seen Woody's and Nick do this many times this season, and it's worked out for their favor, as they've had a couple double podiums for the Williams guys. Matter of fact, as I pull up the team championship, because of Woody's having a little bit of an attendance issue so far this season, Williams has fallen down to 3rd. However, they're within striking range of Ferrari. Right now, Mercedes is your team championship leader, your manufacturer leader, based off the insane performance that McSenditz has. Ranga has held his own, being still a fairly new driver to the league. He's scored some points this season. Unfortunately, he's not here tonight as well. But Mercedes is your leading car with Ferrari. So, not too far away from real world, except Williams is sitting 3rd, which is very far away from the real world. Aaron Webb trying to sneak back up to J-Rod. It fell over a second earlier, and Aaron's now got it back under a second. Though J-Rod is falling way back from Arrow. I think that Red Bull driver is starting to feel it on those super softs now. Would not be shocked if we see him come in next time around. Odom's starting to close in on McSendit. It was sitting around 7/10, 8/10 of a second. Odom's trying to get it within a half second now. We'll hop on board the McLaren as we come to start lap number 9. See McSendit hugging the inside, trying to make Odoms earn that slipstream. Go around turn 1, get the DRS back on. Odoms with a little bit of tire spin there, and you know what? There we go. I'm happy when I can do this occasionally. I called it. J-Rod is in. Those super softs meant their match. He's throwing on the softs. If he wants to make a one-stopper, J-Rod is looking at going 27 laps on those softs. He only went 9 on supers. So it'll be very interesting to see if he can do it. Or, if he knows he can't one-stop, he'll try to run these softs out to their full length and then throw on another pair of super softs at the very end, see if he can't do a cheeky fast lapper. Dude, LSR, yeah, dude, money. That's the only reason Homeboy's got to see is money. I would love to see Kuba come back in. All right, we've got 2 battles start. Well, actually, not so sure this is a battle forming, but Bubba is within DRS of J-Rod after J-Rod came out of the pits. But J-Rod with the fresher tire. Whoa, Chappa. Chappa with some wheel spin, sprint car in that bad boy. Very nice catch for the Sauber driver. Or excuse me, the Toro Rosso driver. Here we go. Here's our second pitter. It's going to be Nick Dye. And the mediums are out for Nick. So Nick is definitely doing a one-stopper. All right, Bubba's bringing it in. Chappa's bringing it in. And I'm really surprised. Oh, no. Bubba, 5 seconds, speeding into pit lane. I'm really surprised to see Bubba pit. Oh, you know what? No, I'm not, because he's missing the left half of his wing. That would be why Bubba is pitting. So this is going to be a real big hurt for Bubba. He can still do a one-stopper, but now it's going to be softs and mediums. So I was hoping Bubba could be cheeky at the end of the race and see if he couldn't go for the fastest lap of the race, but not going to do it on those white wall tires. Both leaders staying out, running these super softs for everything they've got. Jacko, I was thinking the same thing. Hey, Kyle, what's going on, bud, man? To be honest, I don't really have enough subs to think about sub badges. At some point, maybe I might put a little effort on it. We'll see. I'm just amazed if anybody even throws coins at me to begin with, so. Wait, are you... Oh my god, Jacko, you're right. Bubba came in and they did not change his wing. And that's a shattered wing. Why did they not change that? That's absolute heartbreak for the Haas driver. He is absolutely in trouble now. Because he's got to come back in. It's going to force another tire change. Poor Bubba. This one's not going to work out in his favor. Race is still young. There's still... Bubba is not pitting. Bubba, what are you doing? Alright, you madman. Have fun. Chapo. Godspeed trying to pass him with that wing. Odoms with another 3-second penalty. Odoms is showing some good pace here at the end of these super softs runs, but he is really going to hurt himself. Alright. Odoms is going to try the one lap undercut. Curbing. Great save from Odoms. Almost binned it, trying to enter pit road. Odom's really slow, too, on the pit lane. All right, he's coming in. And there's the mediums. Will this one lap undercut work for Odoms? Odoms now has 6 seconds worth of penalties that he needs to bridge. So if Odoms can take this one lap undercut, try to get by McSendit when McSendit comes into pit, and then run his ass off, that's about the only shot that Odoms is going to have to win this race. Aaron Webb's bringing his Force Indian in. So we got McSendit still at the pit. Woody's still has to pit. Arrow as well. K-Dog as well. So our top 4 drivers have taken their super soft tires the longest. Oh snap, LSR, throw in the coins. My man, thank you so much. Very, very much appreciated. As we see a battle for 4th going on. Odoms on those fresh tires. K-Dog, the sportsman that he is, he knows Odoms is potentially racing for a win. He might not know about the time penalties, but K-Dog on a completely different race right now, not wanting to hold up Odoms. McSendit is in. Woody stays out. Woody's with some really great wear on these super softs. I'm wondering if he's going to try to go supers into regular softs. We'll see. McSendit is on this. All right, let's double check real quick because this game likes to flash different tires. McSendit is on the softs. And Odoms actually lost 2 seconds. Maybe a little part of that was getting stuck behind K-Dog, but this is not going to work out for... Wait a minute, Odoms is on supers? I could have swore I saw the white wall tires when he left pit road. So Odoms is going for a 2-stopper. For sure 2-stopper, since he went supers and supers. McSendit's on the softs. Arrow still is yet to pit. He is matching Woody with the tire wear on this super soft. We got Aaron Webb now, racing his way back up through the field after he pit. Let's go back up front. Woody's is out another lap. Not Arrow. Arrow's going to bring the Ferrari in this time. Jacko, I am completely confused too. The way he took those supers that long, I don't know why he's going with the 2-stopper. We'll see. Though he just did set the fastest lap, but he'll be on softs to end the race. I don't know. All right, K-Dog is in. So that leaves now Woody's as the only driver left to pit. Odoms on the faster tire has caught up that 2 seconds on McSendit now. Odoms got to be kicking himself, though, because imagine if that was a 2-second lead on top of McSendit instead of a deficit. But having to make a whole other pit stop. Now, granted, pit road is not insanely long here in Hungary, but it's still the whole fact that it's going to eat up time. Time that's hard to make up on the track. And there he goes. Woody's bringing it in this time. So for sure, after being able to go 14 laps on the supers, Woody's is definitely throwing on softs. All right, it's McSendit and Odom. Oh! McSendit protecting that inside line. Odom's trying to use every bit of that inside that he could. Just couldn't quite make it happen without risking damage. Backs off of it. Dahi, due to the undercut, is going to take over 3rd. J-Rod is going to take over 4th, but now Woody's is right behind him in 5th. He has the freshest set of tires, and he's definitely going to be able to go that rest of the way. We're still questioning J-Rod. He pitted a little bit early. I still believe J-Rod is going to have another pit stop in him, though. That may be it, Jacko. He may have just, did it on the fly, but I still... If you're going to go 2-stop strategy, I don't know why you go fastest tire, second fastest tire. I would go fastest second and then get your fastest tire on your car when it's at the least weight. Worst case scenario, you set the fastest lap of the race. All right, well, it may not be exactly the battle for the... let's put it this way. This may not be the battle for, or the pass for the win, but it would be a pass for the lead right now. Odoms. Matter of fact, let's hop on the McLaren. Again, McSend protecting that inside line. Odom's going to swing it wide. He's going to go for the over-under. McSend didn't have a great corner entry. Odoms has the established overtake, but McSend's going to have the preferred line again. McSend defending beautifully. Odoms with some sprint carring going on. You see the back end of the car sliding out. Odoms with a great catch. Lost minimum amount of time. That was a very impressive catch for Odoms there. And he's going to go back on the attack. Speaking of attacking, the Red Bull, J-Rod, closing in on the back of Dahi. Now Woody's with a 3-second penalty. That's not good. Matter of fact, we got to go wide. We have a 4-car battle that has now emerged for 3rd place. Dahi, your lead car, on the slowest tire. J-Rod tucked in behind him. Woody's tucked behind J-Rod. Arrow tucked in behind Woody's. J-Rod knows too. Whoa, J-Rod too hot. There goes a wing. J-Rod was just in way too hot. Here comes the Red Bull. Little bit too hot too. Save it, save it, save it. He saved it. So, and for J-Rod too, it's still too early. He can't throw on another pair of supers. He's got to throw on a second pair of softs. But the supers are going on. So that's going to kill any shot J-Rod had at maybe a top 5 finish. Unless he can really baby these supers and make them the rest of the way, or else he's going to make a 3rd pit stop. Which is going to be brutal. Alright, as we go back up, Odom's still hunting McSend. He's yet to find a way to get around him. The Red Bull has dropped out of this battle, but it's still a 3-car battle as the Ferrari is sandwiched between 2 Williams. And somewhere, yep. Unfortunate, J-Rod knew the writing on the wall, wrecked the car, the wing got ripped off. He went ahead and called it quits. So there's going to be our first DNF of the evening. And right now, well, in a half a lap, Bubba is going to be sitting in the points position. Oh, do we have a little bit of contact there? We may have, as I swapped the cameras, I saw a little bit of wiggles going on. But Odoms has now gotten around McSend. Odoms has another pit stop in him, plus 6 seconds worth of penalties. So if I was McSend, that may have even been the case too. It's like, all right, we had a little bit of fun. Now go ahead. I'm going to pace. I'm going to win this race. It's far from over. We're only halfway through it, but McSend just needs to run 18 clean laps, and he'll take home victory number 8 on the season. Yeah, Jacko, that's just the unfortunate part of the game when you're trying to do it on the fly. There's so much to try to control, and man, it can go downhill. You know, that wasn't even going downhill. That was an avalanche for J-Rod, unfortunately. So yeah, Odom's starting to pull away from McSend, but again, we're talking 2 completely different races. Odom's has the 6 seconds penalty, has another pit stop. McSend is just right now just looking back and saying, all right, I've got almost 17 seconds on Woody's, who realistically would be second place when Odoms has to pit. So McSend knows what his goal is right now. And now, due to the Odoms issues as well, Arrow, not too far behind Woody's, he might sniff a podium. He might know there might be something up. I agree, Jacko, and that's why we did see some good defensive moves. 3 laps ago, I really loved the defensive driving we saw out of Extended. You know, he didn't allow Odoms the preferred line into 1. Knew Odoms was going to go for an over-under, which then just gave Extended the preferred line going into turn 2. It was just masterful driving. And then it got to a point where maybe Odoms was forcing the issue a little bit too much, and Extended said, hey, no need to, risk my race. Arrow pretty much running identical to Woody's and staying. Actually, I had that last turn. Right as I say that, thank you, scoreboard. Arrow dropped 0.2 of a second, but he was running pretty identical to Woody's there. It was hanging around that 0.8 of a second mark. Hasn't really changed. This is the closest battle we've got on the track right now. As Dahi has fallen off. Again, Dahi on the hardest compound tire. Though, if he can at least try to hang in close, as soon as the softs start falling off of Woody's and Arrow, Dahi will try to battle back then. Got to give a shout out to K-Dog right now. Currently sitting in 6th place. Looking really good. Unfortunately, or I should say fortunately for K-Dog, taking benefit of the issues with J-Rod. Issues that Aaron Webb has had, because he was up in the thick of the top 5 battle earlier. Wouldn't be shocked if maybe a broken wing was involved, and that's kind of what sent Aaron to the back. But Aaron is trying to race his way back up. We look at the stops. Right now, Bubba, the only car out there on multiple stops, as we saw the wing damage, and then unfortunate not changing the wing, causing Bubba to stop again. K-Dog right now, our biggest mover of the race. As Dahi gets a 3-second penalty. And we had a yellow sector that may have been... yep. That was definitely Bubba. As Bubba, fortunately, the Haas whips it around again. There he goes. He spins it completely around this time. He's going to be able to get her going. Now, in Bubba's case, as long as he can do... Let me do a little math in my head. Bubba can do 7 more laps. He's guaranteed points. For this F1 League and the PRL, you have to complete 75% of the race. So if I was Bubba, if you need new tires, go in and get new tires. Just do whatever you can to get yourself to lap 28. That's all you need. Odom's continuing to pull away from Extended now. But it's only 1.3 seconds. On top of 6 seconds of penalties. On top of a second pit stop coming. Speaking of pit stops, Caesar's in now. Alright, a fresh set of super softs now for the Sauber driver. I cannot wait for the next game and we get the Alfa Romero paint job on the Sauber. But Caesar now sitting 9th. He's got fresh tires. He's only a couple seconds behind Chapa, so we might have a battle for 8th place brewing here soon. Arrow still keeping it close-ish to Woody, but not close enough to attempt to move. See, it's a pretty decent gap. It's over a second. Nick Dahi is in. This is a shocker, because I thought for sure Dahi would have been able to one-stop it. Wondering at this point if he felt like it was too risky, knowing he had the gap on K-Dog, as K-Dog now passes him, takes 5th, but obviously Nick is going to have a huge tire advantage, going to be able to close that gap. Wondering if Nick was thinking, just go ahead, get the supers on, try to get the fast lap, get 5th place back. It wouldn't really hurt him to do this. We'll see. Very interesting call out of the Williams driver. K-Dog up 4 spots right now. Looking for a personal best finish as well. And we have to give, actually right now, so we have a few moments in this race, we're going to give some love to the Renault F1 driver, who is an Audi GT3 driver. K-Dog just won his first PRL championship. Tuesday night at Le Mans, he was crowned. He won our mini 24-hour, really it was 1 hour with a big-time day-night cycle. He won the final race, and he won his very first championship. So huge, huge congratulations to K-Dog. And to make the week even better, if he can go ahead and toss in a personal best finish in F1, it's going to make this young man ride even higher. Looking at it right now, K-Dog is currently sitting 12th in points. And he had a 5th place finish in Baku. So we'll see if K-Dog can match that here in Hungary. As Odoms has made his second pit stop, you see McSendit now with a huge 17-second lead. Odoms is on the soft tire. If Odoms wants to win this race in the next 13 laps, not only does he have to make up 17 seconds, he's got to make up his time penalties. So Odoms is looking to make up about 23.5 seconds in a matter of 12 laps. Odoms is fast. He might need a little help to cover that gap, though. Woody's right now looking good for a podium spot. Matter of fact, we'll keep an eye on the Delta. Woody's can keep it... No, actually, no, Woody's does have a 3-second penalty of his own. So he needs to keep it within 3 seconds of Odoms if he wants a shot at second place. Plus, he needs to get a little bit more gap over Arrow. Or Arrow might be able to get a little cheeky podium action here if he can maintain this gap. All right, there we go. Dahi on the fresher tire. We knew it wasn't going to take long. He's made the move on the Renault. Dahi back up to 5th place. But 20 seconds, over 20.5 seconds to catch Arrow with 12 laps to go. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on that Delta. I think that's a little too much, though. Odom's out there flying. Not a shocker. He just set the fastest lap of the race on those softs. He still has 15.5 seconds and 11 laps to catch McSendit. And one good thing for Odoms, though, is he's almost covered an entire 6 seconds. So say, if, for instance, Woody's lost 3rd place, Odoms is going to have enough gap to cover himself for his 6 seconds worth of penalties. He's just got to be careful not to accrue any more. Oh, and that's not going to help. Odoms was really aggressive through the chicane, hopped some curbing, mowed some lawn, lost some coverage there, but could have been a lot worse. Could have been a broken McLaren, but he keeps the car underneath him. Send it out front. Where we've pretty much seen him all year. So we talked about it earlier. McSendit is trying to win race number 8 out of 11. And the 3 races that he didn't win, 2 seconds and a third. So McSendit has a perfect podium streak going on right now that he's trying to maintain. And it's looking really, really good to continue as long as he has a clean last 10 laps. There's always that big if. Anything can happen, especially, we'll never forget McSendit in Baku. Not a couple weeks ago, but back in Season 9, McSendit had a big 6-second lead. He was controlling pace the whole race. Everything was looking good. And then the PlayStation Blue screened on him coming out of the final turn, and he ate wall. So that alone shows you can never say never. But normally when McSendit puts himself in this kind of a position, it's not driver error, as that was scary for our points leader. Wheel-to-wheel contact with Caesar there. Caesar trying to give him plenty of room. Caesar was up against the grass. McSendit might have just misjudged a little bit, but no harm, no foul to both drivers. No damage sustained. No cars went spinning, so... Yeah, Zeke, that was a pucker moment. As I'm trying to give McSender for praise for not goofing up, and man, you're about as close to a goof up as you could have. Wow. Alright, Woody's now falling farther behind of Odom's, but what's good for Woody's now is he has a 3.5 second gap over Arrow. So, as long as he can maintain this, Woody's is looking at a podium finish. We were talking about Dahi earlier. It was a 20-second gap. He's got it down to about 15, but at this pace, Dahi is going to fall short of catching Arrow. But we'll see what happens. K-Dog holding his own right now in 6th, falling behind Dahi, but Dahi's on the fresh tires. K-Dog holding that gap over Aaron Webb, though. Keeping it at... it's been at 21 seconds for a while now, so... The Renault and the Force India driver turning pretty close laps to one another. And chat, feel free to chime in. We are just, at this point, fortunately covering a little bit of time as the field's pretty gapped out. So anything you guys want to talk about, any questions, thoughts, throw it out there. Let's have some fun these final 8 laps. Oh, Odom's with another penalty. However, though, he has a pretty significant advantage over Woody. So I believe Odom's right now is still safe for second. Can't get too many more of those. And Zeke, yeah, Bubba really just needs... Now, Bubba's a lap down. So really, Bubba needs about another lap and a half? Nope, he's coming around, so... One more lap for Bubba, and he's guaranteed the point. X, brother. Thank you so much, my man. You didn't have to do that. It was very much appreciated. Shout out to X-Ice, too. Longtime friend. Him and I race NASCAR Heat together a lot. He's following myself and Game of Joe's to the dark side. Next week, X-Ice is going to be in the Wednesday iRacing Truck Series with us. So definitely looking to have a lot of fun there. Alright, we're going to watch Bubba. There's not a battle going on the track, but we do have a battle between Bubba and a point. So we're going to watch Bubba complete this lap. Bubba, complete this lap! What are you doing? Stop it! Oh my god! Alright. The wheel's still attached, Bubba's still going. I don't care about the commentator curse. We're going to get this point with Bubba. This is going to be a community effort point. Because Bubba is missing the left half of his wing. And shout out to Bubs, too. We were talking about K-Dog with his championship and the win at Le Mans. Bubba had a very impressive run in his Porsche. Bubs had great speed this past season in GT3 with the Porsche, but he could not put together a full race. And the car had a lot of back end. He had a lot of consistency issues. But Bubba put a race together when it counted. He finished second at Le Mans. So, while this race may not have completely gone the way he was thinking about it, he's going to 4 or 5 stop his way into a point. So Bubba's got to be happy on that, on top of still celebrating that second place finish he had on Tuesday night. Zeke, to be honest, the NASCAR Heat Wednesday Truck Series I'm not sure about. I jumped in for a couple races. I won Michigan. Should have won Iowa. Thanks, lag. But for the most part, from what I'm hearing, the racing is pretty good, though numbers are dying down. I don't think we're going to see a second season of the Heat Truck League. Unfortunately, I think it's going the way of the Project Cars 2 Indie League. Alright, so even though we saw some shenanigans, congratulations, Bubba. You are guaranteed 10th place and that 1 point. If anybody DNFs now, Bubba could still get a spot or two, but he is going to get a point. Now, we saw just while we were watching Bubba, McSendick got a 3-second penalty himself, but with 4.5 laps to go, he still has almost a 7-second lead, and 6 seconds worth of penalties because Odom's got 9, McSendick's got 3. So really, Odom's has got 13 seconds he's got to make up in 4.5 laps. McSendick's looking good right now. And Zeke, man, iRacing is, for anybody who loves ovals, man, it's night and day. I'm going to hang around for NASCAR Heat to see what 3 might bring. And I'm definitely hanging around to commentate on F1. I love doing this. I love commentating for GT3 Project Cars. My Tuesdays and Thursday nights are not changing at all. But when it comes to doing the roundy rounds, I think I can't say for sure 100% my Heat days are done, but NASCAR or Heat 3 has got to really bring some good stuff to keep my interest. Otherwise, I'll be doing Wednesday iRacing with the PRL and potentially Sunday night Xfinity when that fires back up. We'll see. I got my first taste of the Cup cars in A racing last night at Iowa, and man, that's a whole different driving style. It was a lot of fun. I've got a ton to learn. So all right, back in 8th place, Caesar making another pit stop. We'll keep an eye on Caesar. He just pitted for fresh supers. He's got the fuel. Caesar right now is running in lean. I'm thinking Caesar is trying to save as much fuel as possible. We might see Caesar's take a run at the fastest lap of the race. I think he needs to take it out of Rich right now. Save that fuel, though. Save that fuel for the next lap. We'll see what happens. Caesar made his debut at the Red Bull Ring. Qualified 3rd, was running 3rd, and then just unfortunately had a mistake and DNF'd out early in the race. So we know Caesar's got speed behind him. No, Zeke, Jobs and I are in the iRacing League. Matter of fact, we are going to be teammates. He won the rock, paper, scissors. We are going to be Ford Bite, not Car Ramrod. So when we lose the team championship, I will blame him, and then we'll be Car Ramrod next time. Yeah, I know, it's confusing. We have 2 different games, but both Truck Series on Wednesday nights. Alright. Nothing's changing up front. We're going to ride around with Caesar on this lap. We're going to see if Caesar can get himself a cheeky fastest lap of the race award. Caesar wasn't at risk of losing a spot, so to be honest, it was a really good call. I kind of like the call for Caesar. You know you're guaranteed a couple points. You're not going to lose a spot. Might as well, go out there and blast it. Same kind of thing that we saw Brian Mosser do back in Spain when he captured his first career fastest lap of the race. So we'll see if Caesar can do the same thing here. And Ranga as well back at Bahrain. Race number 3, he captured the fastest lap. Late pit stop, took the fastest tires, able to put down a lap. Alright, one more corner. What does the Sauber have in it? Can he take the fastest lap of the race? Oh, no he can't! Bubba! Alright, Bubba, you're guaranteed your 1 point for 10th place. Actually, you know what's very impressive on Bubba? Normally when we have a car wrecked out, it's the front tires that are dangling and burying himself. Bubba managed to take out his left rear wheel. So, kudos for a stylistic wreck. If you're going to go big, Bubba goes big. I like it. Alright, let's hop back up front. I think at that point, anyway, Bubba was guaranteed 10th place for being the lap down, and as McSendit now is taking the white flag. He couldn't have gotten a spot anyway, so kudos to Bubba putting on a show for us tonight. Much love. He earned that point. White flag is out. We got Odom's now within 2 seconds of McSendit. The race for the win is not going to happen. Because Odom's also has a huge time penalty to make up, but machismo may come into play. Odom's might want to be like, hey, I did a 2-stop penalty, or a 2-stop strategy. I want to cross the line first. We'll see what happens here, as things might get a little cheeky. And you know what, Jacko? That's perfect. That was Ericsson taking out Bubba. He is a bastard. Odom's now. 2 turns to go. Is Odom's going to try to beat McSendit to the line? McSendit's definitely got the win. Odom's has a bunch of time penalties. Coming out of the last turn. It's not going to do it. McSendit is going to cross the line first. Odom's is going to cross second. You see there was 9 seconds worth of penalties in there. Which really, really stunk, because if there was no time penalties, that actually would have been an amazing race to the finish. A 1-stop strategy versus a 2-stop strategy. We'll have to yell at Odom's later for that. Woody's is taking around the final corner. That's a podium for the Williams driver. No, it's not! Woody's got a second penalty! I totally missed it. Maybe when we were goofing off on Brian. Woody's had a 3-second penalty earlier. That jumped to 6th. Aero Strike is going to capture his first podium of the season in the Ferrari. Dahi is going to finish 5th. Caesar finishes 8th and lap down. K-Dog bringing around the final turn. That's going to be 6th place for the Renault driver. Guaranteeing Aaron Webb 7th. I'm absolutely stunned. I completely missed, as the AI now are busting wings everywhere. I completely missed Woody's second penalty. And Bubs, we figured that had to happen, man. It's not often you see the rear tire dangling off the car. Wow. Total shock there at the end. Totally got it off guard, but not the first time that we've seen this combo of Mercedes, McLaren, and Ferrari taking the podium, but this will be the first time that the Ferrari is Aero and not Forza. So congratulations, Aero. Congratulations to McSendit. Win number 8 on the season of 11 races. Absolutely amazing. Back-to-back second place finishes for Odom. Like I said, he had that dry spell. Put it all behind him. And shout out to Aero and to Caesar. The only 2 drivers without a penalty in this race. Aero called it out too. He actually got his second warning back on lap 12. Then he got his composure. Didn't get another warning. No time penalties for him. Which is the reason that he has that podium. So, awesome drive for Aero. Woody's is officially 4th. Nick in 5th. K-Dog 6th. Aaron in 7th. We got Caesar. Chappa 8th and 9th. Magnussen, Big Balls Bubba, is going to take home a point in 10th. And then, unfortunately, J-Rod, who had the issues early on with the DNF, he'll bring home 11th. All right, let's get this set up real quick. I'm going to grab the other pair of headphones, turn the volume up on the TV, and let's get us some podium interviews going on. What's going on, gentlemen?
Hey.
All right, so we're just waiting on Arrow. So actually, as he gets in, let's go ahead. There he is. Go ahead and get this party officially started. So, for the 8th time in 11 races, McSendit coming up P1. Congratulations, my man.
Hey, thanks a lot.
So, that's the best way to put this. So, Odom's had a couple of self-inflicted issues there. You found yourself after the pit stop with a huge gap. At that point, was it just a matter of, I'm just conserving tires, just making it to the end, not risking it?
Honestly, no, not at all. Because Odom's is super fast, and he was way faster than me at that point, probably like a second and a half quicker than me. So like, I was doing the math in my head, and it was like, yep, he's gonna catch me on the last lap probably. But luckily, Jeff told me that he had the penalty, but then I got a penalty, so I was like, oh no.
Actually, all right.
So no, it was nonstop for me. You know, I never.
We're bringing in second place. We're getting Odoms in on this conversation now. Odoms, you son of a bitch. If it wasn't for those time penalties, we had a clean 2-stop versus 1-stop battle. Something we've been dying for, my man.
My 2-stop was very involuntary.
Yeah, so what happened? When we saw you go
Did you
super
mess up?
supers, it just, me and Jacko were absolutely confused.
Yeah, I didn't mean that at all. Like, it was a late call to come to the pits when I was chasing McSendit, and I switched to the left instead of the right.
Oh, you were trying to
I
put on
went
mediums
mediums.
and you went,
I went
oh.
supers.
Well,
Yeah.
dude.
I didn't just go supers. I went 1 supers.
Right. Well, still,
And
to do that, I mean, that was absolutely
me going
amazing
into
to
the
chase down
pits,
McSendit by the
see
end
how
of that.
slowly
Though.
I went into the pits? You see how slowly I went into the pits? Because I was just like trying to change it back, and I realized I couldn't. I was like,
That's
oh,
what happened.
no.
Yeah, I was wondering why I gained so much time, even though you pit before me. I thought you would 100% come out in front of me, and I was actually like really thinking about pitting that lap. Like I was planning on it, but then it was a late call to stay out, and I was regretting it once you went in. But I got lucky. It sounds like. I think you definitely would have got the undercut if that was a normal pit stop, because you were like half a second behind me.
Yeah, I think I would have, yeah.
But did you have any penalties by then?
I had 1.
Yeah, you had 1 early, and then you ended up 2 after the pits were going on.
Yeah, driving behind a car with dirty air is so hard around Hungary. It is ridiculously hard.
Yeah,
Turn 4, I just didn't know what to do. I'll turn in now. 5-second penalty. Oh, okay.
Good times.
Yeah.
Well, overall, though, gentlemen, I mean, you guys were the class of the field. Even though penalties came into play, it's still fun that last lap seeing you catch up there, Odoms. And like McSendit was saying, he was still having to push it. So, just to get a little hint of a 1-stop versus 2-stop battle being equal, that was a lot of fun. So very much appreciated, gentlemen.
Yeah. It's quick. The 2-stop is actually quick at this track. Like I think I've always thought, if you race, I mean, I don't know why we'd ever do this, but if you race ghost cars here, like I think a 2-stop.
We're not
is the way to
racing
go.
time trials, McSendit. Stop it.
Well, that's how Odoms races, so that's why it works so well for him.
Good times.
Odoms drives like he's always in time trials.
All right. We've got one more gentleman to talk to, which completely threw me off at the end of the race because I missed a penalty. Arrow, one of only 2 drivers with no penalties on the race, and being smooth and clean, my man, got you that podium tonight. Congratulations.
Yeah, don't count me out.
Oh,
I'm
after
still
Monza,
good.
we can never count you out. I just happened to miss a 3-second penalty from Woody's. That was all.
So many people get penalties. I don't know. Apparently Woody got his second penalty on lap 32 or 33.
That would make sense because we were following
I got
Bubba
lucky
playing bumper cars by that point. So,
there. Yeah, I heard.
may have been a little distracted. A little bit. But it's been quite a while, my man. You've been flirting around. You've gotten some 4th and some 5ths. So definitely happy to see you get back up on the podium. And you were involved in, I mean, we didn't have too many wheel-to-wheel battles tonight, but, I mean, we definitely had some 3 or 4 car trains that you were involved in tonight. So
There was one,
we
but
had
you
one of
missed
the
it.
more eventful races.
There was one, but you missed it. Right, the lap after, or I think the lap J-Rod pit, Nick was going to let Woody by into turn 1, but he locked up. So Woody went through, and then I squeezed
Nice.
through. So I
See,
got lucky.
I mentioned that earlier. Those William guys like to work together, and it's nice to see somebody take it to them.
To me, it looked like team orders to me. Just because of how easily or how quickly Woody went
Right.
down. But I was close enough to capitalize, which is good.
Well, we could consider that then, like, that was definitely the move of your race then, to able to split them and then hold that gap. And then, like I said, be able to bring home the first podium in way too long, my man.
Yeah.
So,
Well, last week I feel I was wrong.
yeah, there was that unfortunate pit road incident last week. So a little bit of justice served this week. You definitely got the spot. But let's talk about, so that's a 4th and a 3rd now. We've got a good chunk of races left. We saw you go on a tear last season when you were stringing off podiums. You got it in you again? We got Monza coming up. We all know you and Monza, man.
I'm gonna crash.
Don't crash next week.
Belgium sucks. Belgium sucks. It's the worst track in the game.
Best track in the game.
No,
Sorry,
it's
what
not.
was that wrong opinion?
Huan is the worst corner.
Best corner.
Huan is a terrible corner, I agree, but Belgium is not the
It's
worst.
so bad on control.
Poor Spa.
Well, there's your problem.
It is pretty bad.
I'm not gonna use my T80 with no stand.
I did. Well, I mean, I had a stand.
Well, also I'd need the force feedback too. So
Yeah, no, you don't want to do that. It sucks.
Yeah, it's one thing on the arcadey NASCAR game to
Find that
throw out the T80. Not so much on these bad boys.
when you actually need fuel.
Yeah. That's like when I had the T80 and I was racing Project Cars. The only thing I would race was go-karts. I didn't need force feedback for those little shits.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. I can't drive the go-karts with force feedback. I can only.
I know, man.
Like it's
I miss
so
those
weird.
shifter carts. They were the best.
I never drove it.
Oh, you missed out. The go-kart now in Project
Gonna
Car
have
2
to get a real
sucks.
one.
I want the shifter car back. But, alright, since we're already going off on a tangent, gentlemen, we'll go ahead and wrap up the official portion before we get into banter time. Again,
Can I ask what your tires were on extended?
What was that?
What were your tires on when you finished?
Like low 60s. I think like 61 or 2.